I've been on my grind, I've been out here trying to shine. From Riverdale to Center Hill, got Georgia on my mind. Trying to keep God first and get money. But when you put God first, they get funny. Don't want to see that to come true to life. See the rules of life are like the rules of dice. Nothing but a gamble. Never take a chance, then you never get to prove you right. So I use the mic to give them food to fight and get them through the life that we in. Been through the fire, walked in alone, came out beside the I am. I am not to be seen. The flow is like inside the inner tubes. It's invisible with no interlude. I stays on my job, no interview. Don't break and don't stop from the start to end. Got cash to stack, broke hearts to mend. I speak life like I'm the new oxygen. From the breed of the illest MCs that you ever did see, like Meth, Big Pac and them. Andre, J, Snoop, Ghost, Nas, and M. Whoever's up next better double up text. I'ma pull a upset, cock, pop, and bend the corner like I was a curb. I think I might have struck a nerve. That's exactly what I meant to do. It's uno and you know, if you don't, then soon. On my grind.
Daddy Hip Hop, we're sitting here with MD Uno. What's good, man?
What's happening, homie? How you?
Chilling, man. So go ahead and just give us a brief intro and kind of tell the people who we are and, you know, what you got going on.
Alright, my name is MD Uno, from the South Side, Riverdale, by way of New York, Long Island, Roosevelt. Been here since like 1996. I've been doing music since I've been an actual recording artist since like 2001. Been doing it for about a good 11, 12 years. This is like my third project that I just released on October 31st. It's called I Want the Streets. And you know, we just out promoting. We about to start doing some shows for that real soon.
So you say you've been here since '96 from up top?
Yes, sir.
How did you end up in Atlanta?
My family kind of just migrated down here all at once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. My mom, my grandmother, like literally everybody on my mother's side, kind of uncles, aunts, we all just kind of moved down here at once. And I was a kid. I was like 9 years old. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I was reading online. You said that you used to be, you know, kind of a troublemaker when you were younger. You know, you were in a life of drug. You know. So, what made you switch to focusing solely on rap?
Number of things. I would definitely say maybe some of the encounters that I've had with God. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I came to know God. Like it's one thing for everybody to know that there is a God, but I feel like I had an encounter with God, you know, and that encounter when I really got to know His reality and, you know, spend some time getting to know Him, like my life changed completely. My daughter, I would say, even helped me to focus on, you know, things that, you know, to not focus on things that would jeopardize my freedom and just, you know, focus on my craft, you know.
So would you consider yourself a Christian rapper or no?
No.
No, okay.
I wouldn't even consider myself a Christian, but I do believe that Jesus is the Son of God. You know, Yeshua is the Son of Yahweh, but I just don't like that title.
I got you.
Is there something specific that happened that caused you to kind of make that?
Yeah. Basically, I had a spiritual encounter. You know, to me, it was like it had a lot to do with you know, like I don't know how real it is to you, but I believe that in the spiritual realm, and I believe that I had an encounter with like a demonic force, and it took just a bunch of prayer from my people, like my family, and even people from my church to really just help me to come out of what I was in. And that's what really just showed me the reality of God. I saw what He did for me. I saw what I came out of. And so that would be, you know, the experience that I had that kind of led me to, you know, just being more focused on God, His reality, so forth.
Okay, I just asked because I know, you know, he said before that you were in the streets, so I don't know if it was something that was related to that or, you know, something else. So that's why I asked. So,
yeah. I'm with you. I don't mind. Let's go.
Okay.
I always find stories like that interesting.
Yeah.
When someone goes from being strictly in the streets, and I could be wrong, but I think your bio said that you kind of made the switch relatively quickly. So that's what made it interesting to me when someone's really in the streets and then it's just like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm leaving this whole life behind.
That's the thing about me. That wasn't the case. When I was, because I was in the streets at a young age, 14 years old. That's when I started selling weed, smoking weed, just being really a part of that lifestyle. And that's when I had my encounter. And I like for 2 years, I would say around that age of 15, going into 16, 14, I spent a lot of time with God. I spent a lot of time in the Word, and I got to know God for myself. I built a relationship with Him, but you know, it didn't stop there. I ended up going back in the streets, you know what I mean, and doing my thing. But I had my relationship with God now. I knew my foundation. You know what I mean? I would say like I kind of really washed my hands with the streets around the age of 21, 22.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's when like I probably sold weed up until then, like around, you know, my early college years. I let that go like around 21, 22. That's when I kind of did away with it all.
So what are you trying to do with hip hop now? Like, what is your focus? What is your purpose in the game right now?
My focus is I want to. I mean, it sounds cliche, you know. I want to change the guy, but I don't say I want to change the game. I say I want to change the world. I believe music has what it takes to change the world. Music conditions you, you know what I mean? Your spirit, the way that you feel. I look at myself when I was 16 years old and the music that I would listen to and how it had so much to do with me wanting to live that lifestyle that I was living and be that person, you know what I mean? That music, you know what I mean? I know the effect that it had on me. So I know the power of music and the power in music. And so in my music, what I try to do is, you know, just take from all that I've been through. I take from the power of influence that it has, and I really it's all strategy, man. I want to change things. I want to get in your mind a little bit without you feeling uncomfortable, knowing that, you know what I mean, knowing that I can relate to you. I can relate to what you've been through. I know where you at. You know what I mean. So it's all strategy, man. I use it as a device, as a tool to change the world. That's what I want to do with it. You know what I mean? Positively. I want to affect lives.
That's what's up. So who influences you? You know what I'm saying, in terms of musically, because you were saying like when you were younger, the music you were listening to influenced you to live that street life. So obviously whoever that was, and you know, as you've been growing, obviously you're into hip hop. So who influenced you throughout your, you know, say your life to want to get into hip hop like that?
What influenced that lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Musically, I've always just been fascinated with the art, with the craft. You know, it's cool. You know, the lifestyle like of a rapper. You see him on TV, and I was always enamored by it. But as far as like an artist in particular, I would definitely say Tupac. He influenced me more so. On the message side of things, to want to take an effect and to want to do something greater than just be a dope artist, you know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, I got artists like Eminem, like Jay. I just like, you know, their flow, their, you know, wordplay. Like I take from all of that. But as far as like influences and what I'm doing, Pac is definitely my biggest inspiration.
So let's go back a little bit. So when did you first start out rapping? Like what? When did you first pick up the pen?
I first picked up the pen. I was like 10 years old. And I remember my very first rhyme. It's funny, I did it to...
Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, I'm gonna tell you. I did it to Can't Nobody Take My Pride, Can't Nobody... The Puffin' Mace joint.
Yeah.
I did it to that joint, and it was like, I was 10 years old, it was me, my brother, and my cousin, and I said, my boys call me Mook, I pimp all the hoes. If a nigga try to mess with me, I jaw him in the nose. Beat a nigga down 10 days in a row, freak hoes, something like that, you know what I mean? Simple as that. I probably had one more bar, I don't even remember exactly, but that was the first rhyme that I wrote, you know what I'm saying? I was like 10, you know what I'm saying? And from there, I just always played with it, but I would say I started writing consistently and taking it seriously at the age of 13.
How'd you come up with your name?
My name is Mookie. I've been Mookie since I was a kid, since longer than I can remember. Like for as long as I've been with Ma, which is my government, I've been Mookie. My mom has always called me that, and so everybody always called me Mookie. And that was initially my name, Mookie. And as I started rapping, I added the one, DA and the number one, because I felt like I was the one because of my mission and what I intend to do musically. I feel like I can change things. I feel like I'm the one. That's what makes me feel like I'm the one. So I added the one. And so that's where you get MD Uno from, Mookie the One. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what made you come up with the title for your new project?
I want the streets. I call it that because I want the streets, and when I say I want the streets, I want to, like I tell you what my intentions are. I want to change the world. So I feel like you asked me at the beginning of the interview, am I a Christian rapper? And the thing about it is, you know, as far as my relationship with God goes, I could be a Christian rapper, but I feel like if I'm a Christian rapper, then I'm talking to Christians. But people that know God aren't necessarily the people that need the message. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to the streets because that's my message. I wanna talk to the streets. You can't save the saved. You know what I mean? So I want the streets is basically, you know, that's my audience. I want your attention. You know what I mean? I want to change the world, but you know, you got to change something that needs to be changed in order to do that.
Explain the track "Cocaine." When I was listening to your mixtape, that was one that didn't really sound like the other tracks. And I don't know if it was just the hook or what it was, but explain the concept behind that particular track.
Word. Cocaine, man, and it's funny you say that because like during the whole recording process of this project, Cocaine, when I did that song, I probably might have been like 3 or 4 songs into the project, and when I did that song, it kind of just put me. I found my zone. I knew where I was going with the project, and with Cocaine, it's a. If you listen to it, it's kind of deep because if you're listening to it and you're just a hip hop head, you're like, yo, this nigga's dope. It's on some lyrical stuff. It's braggadocious because I'm talking about my flow. But on a higher, like on a deeper level, Cocaine is really talking about what my mission is. Like, you know, on a not in a plain, not as plain as I've explained to you guys what I'm trying to do, but it tells you what I'm doing. And Cocaine, like it's about like I talk about the water, you know what I mean? Like I'm really trying to bring life, you know what I mean? Trying to change things. Like it's a deep. I don't really want to go too deep into it. But basically, what I tried to do with Cocaine was tell you what I'm trying to do. As far as the change that I'm trying to bring, and just do it in a fun way, in a way where I'm just bragging and still put a message behind it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what's your process like? Like, do you listen? Like, you get a whole bunch of beats? Do you just write and then you hear a beat, then tailor the flow to that beat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your relationship with your producers? You know what I'm saying? Like,
generally, that's pretty much how it works. I hit a beat. And I create my music around the beat. There are certain songs that I write, which not many at all, that I'll have, because I can write to nothing, no beat at all, and just have the song, and I'll find a beat that goes with it. But for the most part, that is my process. I hear the beat, I feel the chemistry, see how it makes me feel, you know, where it takes me, and I just vibe with it, and from there, I create from there, you know what I mean?
So you said this is your 3rd project, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you first started out, like with that first project, was your intention to always just feed the street with the messages, or did that start with project 2 or project 3?
I found myself, I would say, this is my most put together project, you know, because my first project is called Closed Chapters. And I called it Closed Chapters because you have basically music that I created from as long as I've been recording up until that time where I put this project together. And I call it Closed Chapters because that's when I would say I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what my mission was, and so I had to close certain chapters of my life, you know what I mean, and head in the direction that I wanted to go. But it still, I still had music that I had already done that I put on this project because it was still me. It was still, you know, what I did. But this project is more so I'm feeding the streets. I'm on a mission now. You know what I mean?
Okay. So What's next?
What's next?
Yeah,
As far as like projects or what do you do?
Anything. As far as MD Uno, what's next?
As far as MD Uno, man, we on a mission to change the world. We out here now, you know what I mean? We are seeking every outlet that we can to really just bring this thing to the forefront. You know what I mean? It's like a well-kept secret, you know what I mean? Like we trying to expose the people to the gift, to the craft, to the music, and just take over the world. We trying to change the world. We trying to change lives.
Like
you know?
this project you got, this project just came out now. What's the project you got right now that just came out?
Yeah, this one is it. This is it right here. I Want the Streets. We dropped it on October 31st. It's a 10-track CD project, and you know, this is the most recent one. Like we got shows that we're gonna be doing pretty soon. We got a lot of different radio interviews that we're trying to do. Just performances. Like we're trying to get some radio play as well. We're trying to just be out here networking, talking to DJs. You know, we just doing a lot of footwork. We on the grind. Like the lead single was called On My Grind, and right now it's just all about the grind. Like the project is done now. It's like this is really the grind. Like we in grind mode. We out here just working. You know, working with a lot of different independent artists. You know, local talent. Like I'm just working, networking. You know what I mean? We just out here just working.
Speaking of trying to get one of the songs on the radio, like when I listen to the album, I really like that 285 Cruising. Okay. I really feel like that could be on the radio like now.
Wow,
you know
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's what's up.
Venue you trying to perform at?
The venue, well, we're looking at J. Paul's on the south side. Tongue and Groove is another one. We're trying to do some out of town spots in Macon. Just a little bit of everywhere, really. You know what I mean? So we lining it all up, man. You know, we lining it all up.
So if you had your choice of linking up with any local artist, like who would you want to jump on a track with right now?
From Atlanta.
From Atlanta. I only ask that because you're not technically from here. I guess you would technically be from New York or Jersey. No, Jersey.
He can't Riverdale, sir.
Yeah,
he playing Riverdale. He playing Riverdale.
You South Atlanta.
I'm a Georgia boy for real though, cause look, I'm gonna tell you though, I'm a Georgia, like I can't really tell you much about New York besides Roosevelt, Long Island. You know, I didn't spend no time in the streets up there. I didn't spend no time, you know, like I was in elementary when I left New York.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like I'm a Georgia boy for real. I'm a South Side dude. I done lived all over the South Side. But to answer your question, I would right now I'm thinking I would work with Rich Homie Quan. I like what he got going. He's not too big to where you can't reach him. Yeah. And like he's creative. He's talented to me. I would like to work with him. Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at MD_Uno. Follow me on Instagram at MD_Uno. Facebook, it's all the same. We got the video and the mixtape on livemixtapes.com. Y'all go get that.
That's what's up.
All right, well, appreciate you chopping it up with us, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man.